and it was a jacuzzi that had a bar in it. We had a great time.
Yeah,
we had a great time. That was right after Fran just won Mexico City too, so we were celebrating.
Okay.
And while we were in Mexico City, we found out that Powerz and Kenny were going to leave the team they just won with.
Dude, I remember
so
all that.
That kind of threw a wrench in that vacation for him. I didn't really care much. I was still just a commentator.
You were vibing in the jacuzzi, man, chilling out, dancing to salsa. Hey, I know I saw you out there. Hey, Ribs, I want to make it clear, I do love you. And what I said about the hairline, I don't take it back necessarily, but I apologize for that. But you said you wanted it.
Tough love, bro. Tough love.
You said you wanted it, okay? So whatever you want to clap back, you clap back. You got a lot of things to roast me on. We got RushieZ United, map number 1, District. I'm excited for this one. Again, a rematch that took place so often during Split 3. And now in Split 4, well, it's no different. They're back at it once again. And RushieZ off to a wonderful, wonderful start. But eUnited, they pick up a lot of eliminations and therefore secure some time on the first hill.
Wonderful start. 3 of them are dead. eUnited had a wonderful start, not RushieZ.
I mean, I'm just saying they had their early points.
Yeah, they had some points, but they were all dead. United, you're right though. United still doesn't have the lead just yet, but United right now that are hitting the shots. Demise gonna pick up 1, gets the kill onto Avexys, getting the revive all up to INZEM. Demise with the 3 kills back to back to back. We call that a triple. Good on him. So yeah, United and RushieZ played multiple times throughout Split 3. I'm gonna kind of hone in on the 2 times they played in the Spring Major. One time in pools. Was it United? No, it wasn't in pools. It was a winner semis. United gets that win over RushieZ. And I called it. I said, RushieZ is going to play United again. Sure enough, RushieZ gets through all the way through losers bracket, plays United in the grand finals. Even though United had a map up, RushieZ wins it. So this is kind of like, if you think in recent history, this is the 3rd time they played the rubber match. Let's see if United can make the proper adjustments. They can't continue on losing to RushieZ if they want to win their first championship for 3 of those players.
All right, New Hill's going to be coming into play. We got RushieZ on the bottom end, eUnited on the top. Which one is going to be superior? We'll definitely find out. I gotta give a lot of credit to Demise. I love that angle he's going to have on any of the RushieZ members who either hop out of the hill or try to push into the hill. But a shock is going to force TJ back. RushieZ will get the early points, and they can also rotate players 7 up, and that's because Demise ended up hopping out of that coverage position over in green. But for the time being, it's going to be stalemated once again. Neither roster wanting to make a move forward, except for eUnited, who are going to put a lot of presence in mid.
As we look at it, the scoreline's pretty much tied up right now. So once again, all the players of eUnited is kind of turning up. You don't expect Demise to make some of the plays he's making, but he wins another 2v1 there, grabs the new drop shot. And meanwhile, his teammates dyslexic Powerz. So we talk about how strong RushieZ is as a roster. This is one of their strongest maps. So if United comes out and wins this first map, this is looking really good for them to continue to dominate EDAYS. As we said before, they only lost by 1 round in the last EDAYS playoffs against the Knights. So RushieZ took out the Knights today. United trying to take out RushieZ.
35-35 close. Demise on your screen. 2nd time he's had the drop shot active in play. RushieZ line of sight is in. RushieZ takes him down. Yo, the stun will back him up. Demise can't even get the kill. The drop shot goes to waste essentially, and he's going to lose his life. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, multiple times yesterday, Toby was saying the drop shot's the strongest weapon in the game. Well, RushieZ just made a measly utility stun grenade stronger than a drop shot. So good on RushieZ. Always just places his grenades so well, whether it be a lethal grenade or a utility grenade. That's going to help RushieZ solidify this 3rd point. Be able to retake the hill. Here comes the retake coming out from eUnited. Powerz not going to get there in time to pick up TJ. RushieZ doing a great job just using their team weapons. It's going to be DeTox, though, who's going to get close. Shotgun shots over the window. Just as I say that, DeTox resets, gets out of chunk range, and look at this team fire, putting eUnited in a blender. Dyslexic on the flank does pick up 1, but he gets taken out. TJ on the flank actually picks up the kill, sorry. But it is RushieZ picking up the majority of these points, taking the lead, getting the momentum right back on their side. eUnited's going to have to defer and go towards the bandstand where the next hill is.
Beautiful, beautiful just deviation of power from hill to hill. United look strong, and RushieZ, then United, then RushieZ. RushieZ definitively played that hill perfectly, and that was because of a big mistake from Demise with the drop shot. If RushieZ dies from the drop, maybe that plays differently in the last hill. Maybe United has the lead going into P3, but not the case this time around. Nice trade over in blue, and the battle for drop shot underway, and it is going to be eUnited getting it potentially. Maybe I spoke a bit too soon. Powerz should have some real estate to get it up. He will. Want to back away. Drop shot is going to be backpacked. Not going to be used this time. Great pressure from RushieZ.
Yeah, great double kill coming out from INZEM. Trade comes out, Avexys gets one, then Demise takes him out. But this is a very scrappy fight where RushieZ realistically shouldn't be coming away with all these kills. TJ kind of getting shut down by INZEM, allowing INZEM to get those 2 kills. Nullified the drop shot. Now RushieZ is the first ones on the hill, so I feel like eUnited kind of had advantages in that middle map, didn't capitalize, and now RushieZ is in a favorable position to let their point lead grow, already doubling that of eUnited. DeTox now getting collapsed on, doesn't really have much help. RushieZ is there for him. RushieZ does get the down out there on Dyslexic, but he's going to get taken out. eUnited retakes, plenty of points left on this hill.
Plenty of points indeed for an opportunity for eUnited to be neck and neck with RushieZ, maybe even a little bit ahead, but more importantly, it's going to put eUnited in a solid spot, potentially. INZEM will be spotted. Demise will try to keep him at bay for as much as possible. RushieZ doesn't seem to be making a move on this hill, Ribs. In fact, they're staying on the right side, maybe set up for the next hill, more importantly than getting onto the current.
Yeah, and RushieZ is one of those teams that they're very methodical in the decisions they make on control. So yeah, they're going to say, give up this scrap time. I don't think they're willing to give up the drop shot, but they do want to put themselves in position to maybe get points on the next hill and watch the drop shot as it is spawning soon. See 2 players of eUnited right now in the middle of the map trying to fight for that drop shot. They're going to push into Juice. Maybe Avexys that's going to be forced to back up TJ and Demise. Getting some good positioning here into the Juice. Whenever the drop shot spawns, they should be able to pick it up for free, but it looks like they're going to get aggressive on this new hill. RushieZ pushing out. Avexys gets taken out. DeTox gets taken out. Going to be a 2v3 in favor of eUnited. Player number 5, RushieZ, always so smart with his positioning, is going to go towards that original spawn. Give himself a decent angle to play defensive. He's getting pushed though. Taylor, let's see what type of defense RushieZ has. Still alive for the time being. Gets it down. Cannot get the kill. Good revive train coming out. Great push from TJ and Dis.
Great push indeed. And eUnited with the lead makes them feel a bit more comfortable. RushieZ committed for the setup on the current hill, but obviously they don't have it. I like this wolf pack, but I also like the damage outputted from Powerz, Dyslexic, and TJ. Truly a team effort. They have RushieZ on the run, Ribs, and it seems to really be a nice hill one from eUnited as the lead continues to grow. One straggler from RushieZ is going to be left behind, and he will get a trade with Dyslexic, so that's at least something they can work with. But more importantly, eUnited, they will push out, and RushieZ once again try to set up for the next hill early on. But eUnited, will they be able to dismantle? I think they might be. Demise has a game plan in mind, and that's to flank, but first he has to get through Avexys.
Keep in mind, RushieZ was up, I believe, 110 to 50. Since then, they've only scored about 10 points. Meanwhile, eUnited, 100 points, pretty much unanswered. eUnited looking to be in great form here. Getting that win over TQ and over Fury 1. Map 5 against Fury 1. Both of these teams battling it out to get to grand finals, but so far it's been eUnited that's looked strongest in this first map, District Control. RushieZ currently on the hill. eUnited with the man advantage on the map, 4v3. Let's see if they can use their advantage, but no, INZEM gets a kill. RushieZ goes down, gets revived. Players scrambling left and right. Powerz gets down. Now it's up to DeTox and Demise, or sorry, Dyslexic and Demise. Try to hold off these members of RushieZ, and they're doing a great job of it. Taylor, beautiful shot. But DeTox gets one, cannot get the second. Dyslexic holding his shot there and punishing that last missed shot by DeTox.
Yeah, and that was almost a beautiful play from DeTox. It was still a valiant effort nonetheless, but doesn't net any points for RushieZ. Once again, 2 times in a row, Ribs, we've seen RushieZ try to set up early for the next hill, and 2 times they have been shut down as eUnited has done a wonderful job breaking the defensive setup of RushieZ. At the beginning, yeah, they were a bit slow. You mentioned that point deficit, and that point deficit was absolutely real. However, as the map has continued, eUnited seems to have got a lot more confident, get into their flow state, and take the fight to RushieZ. And RushieZ, well, I gotta say, they are struggling to keep up at this point, as the points are starting to get away from them, 205 to 128, which if eUnited has one more successful hill coming up next, RushieZ could very well be looking at losing map number 1 very shortly, and eUnited is on the current hill.
Well, it's a 1v1. It's INZEM going against right now Powerz. Definitely a tough 1v1 if you're INZEM to try to win against Powerz. They're still fighting. Meanwhile, Avexys, he's going to pick up 2. INZEM does win that 1v1 against Powerz. Drop shot going to be out of play. That's a huge 1v1 from INZEM, and even bigger 2v1 there from Avexys, showing great composure while he was full red. This is still anyone's map, Taylor. I mean, you know how hard it is to break this Cinema Hill. I think eUnited is going to maybe have one push at it. They might defer and just say, hey, let's keep map control and get towards that bottom right portion of the map where the next hill spawns. We'll see. Meanwhile, 3 members of RushieZ is on the Cinema Hill. They're going to try to hold off. That's a big 3v3 fight. Meanwhile, in the juice, 1v1 RushieZ versus TJ. Who you got, Taylor? It's 1v1. Before it finishes, who you got?
Oh, God, I got RushieZ. Right. So I was trying to say it quick enough. No, you could tell RushieZ had TJ on the run, but that was a good 1v1. Look, I tried. Give me a little bit earlier next time, and I'll give you a definitive answer for sure. And last time, mind you, I tried to call who was going to win the final round. My power went out, so maybe we should stop with that. Well, I did. I said RushieZ. I think they got it. They did win it, to their credit.
They did.
So
they wouldn't be here if they didn't.
True. And that's actually a valid point. That's law. That is law. Look how close the score is, Rips. 215 to 178. RushieZ has taken that point deficit, and they've not flipped it entirely, but they definitely look a lot stronger than they did just moments ago. In fact, 1 hill ago. But still, more work needing to be done. And eUnited on that low side is going to be tough to break. And with TJ also taking off DeTox, who was potentially going on the flank, well, that's going to lessen the chances of RushieZ. The only thing they can do is just push forward.
Well, yeah, once the shot grenade goes away, they should be able to at least neutralize the hill. But currently, eUnited's getting points. Player number 7 finally does neutralize the hill, but RushieZ already looks like they're getting ready to rotate for the next and the drop shot. RushieZ picks it up. Player number 7 is getting 2v1'd in the spawn. Here comes RushieZ with the drop shot. Picks up the kill. He doesn't. Powerz dodges it. Now RushieZ on the flank. Hits a brick. Downs out Dyslexic. Gets the kill with a knife. Potentially even getting that revive. And Powerz is just being a rat right now. There's no way he gets out of that situation alive. Meanwhile, INZEM picks up a kill. All the kills going in favor of RushieZ. Avexys does clean up that kill on Powerz. RushieZ gonna be able to get still 35 points on that hill. Multiple 1v1s being won by Avexys too. RushieZ definitely still in this, only down about 40 points now. And you could tell player number 8, if you look at the minimap real quick, Taylor, they are across the map solidifying spawns for the next hill.
Said solidifying spawns, that could pay dividends for the roster of eUnited. They do have it locked down for the time being, but oh, nice shot from Powerz, man. Couldn't get the second. INZEM breaks through. This is a chance now for RushieZ to regain the current hill. They just have to get through TJ. And TJ, he's going to get peppered from his left as well. I think that was from maybe player 5, way off in the distance, RushieZ, who was able to find some angle onto TJ. So good news for RushieZ. They do have control of the new hill. When does drop shot come into play, though? 38 seconds.
35 seconds.
Quite a bit of time. Quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and that's good for RushieZ, because that means that's 35 seconds. They don't have to worry about a drop shot. Meanwhile, they're going to continue to get these kills in the spawn. They could actually take the lead with this hill. And look at this. They're staggering out the kills. TJ's stuck in blue all alone. And eventually, RushieZ is probably going to say, hey, we're going to fight for this drop shot. We're getting a lot of points on this hill, but they know how important drop shot is. You see player number 5, player number 6 moving into info. This has been a good last 2.5 hills for RushieZ to get back into this matchup. This first map so important against with these 2 heavy hitters playing against each other. It's great to get first blood. Powerz pushes into info. RushieZ gets caught off guard, but it is going to be Powerz getting taken out before he gets the kill. The drop shot did get picked up, but it is TJ getting away with the drop shot, so a little bit of concession there for them. But here's INZEM with a beautiful angle. Don't you love seeing the way RushieZ just angles players out? They always have the right angles between INZEM and RushieZ. They're just playing the game so smart, taking those wide angles. And that does take the lead, though.
And that's how you counteract the aggression from eUnited. That's how you shut down the individual slaying power from Powerz or Dyslexic. you out-angle them, you team fire them. And RushieZ does that so well. In fact, one of the best teams to do that. Big drop shot from TJ. We'll see you later, Avexys and DeTox. And what a time to connect for a two-piece. RushieZ, they had the point lead for a short period, but eUnited takes it right back. That drop shot was at a critical point in time that allowed eUnited to definitively have control of what could be the final hill.
Yeah, both teams can win on this hill. I'm expecting it to be a largely contested hill, so maybe we will go to the next one. INZEM hitting some nice shots, but Powerz is going to punish him. Quick revive comes out from RushieZ. I love to see that as well. Speaking of angles, I love to see those quick revives. A lot of the times, Taylor, you don't even have to say you're going down. Your teammates has all the audio and visual cues to know that you're going to go down. They preemptively press the revive button, which is the X button on default controls. Now RushieZ in position here. Only needs less than 20 seconds to win this. Last second push. eUnited needs to get in the hill. Taylor, take it away.
287 to 275. It comes down to this. eUnited fans, you got to send them your energy. They need a break, but it's not going to be easy. Now less than 6 points away for RushieZ. Now 5. Get in the hill, eUnited. Can you do it? You cannot. RushieZ saw it coming a mile away, and 300 to 275 is where map 1 will end, and RushieZ will in fact take the victory. But make no mistake about it, even chat representing so much talent in this game, you know, and that's what NX ended up saying, and I agree with that. So much talent, but that's to be expected between EU and RushieZ. Both teams wanting the last championship. eUnited, a team that has got second place so many times recently. RushieZ obviously winning their last major, the spring major. So at this point, for both of these teams, like, it's a pride thing. And, you know, we talk about being the last major. We talk about it being the last split for Pro League, but this is also the last split for EDAYS Ribs. You know, so there's a lot of last, and everybody wants to finish on top for each of those categories.
Yeah, especially these two teams knowing that they are the top of the caliber for every Gears team in Pro League. Between them, the Knights, and KCP, these are the 4 teams that we're expecting to win this final event and the final EDAY playoffs. So it's great to see these two teams battle it out once again. And as I said, first map, restricted control, as competitive as it gets, Taylor. Multiple lead changes. United going out 100 points unanswered after being down 50 to 100. Then RushieZ just getting the momentum on their side after that cinema hill. They really just started lancering together. They started playing angles. Yeah. Even when that double drop shot kill came out, they were able to regain composure. And yeah, I mean, if this is a testament to how this match is going to go, I'm expecting a map 4 or at least a map 5. Because this is just back and forth. Both of these teams both evenly matched. And I could expect to see these two teams getting to map 5s throughout multiple times throughout this last split.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And wouldn't surprise me if we get to that point. But also on the flip end, it wouldn't surprise me if one team 3-0s the other or wins 3-1. I mean, that's just kind of the caliber that we have. Any given day, RushieZ or United can win, represented by the 300-275 scoreline from map number 1. But going back to that teamwork for RushieZ, that's something that I've always appreciated from their perspective. RushieZ is a team that when they do turn on that teamwork and that team fire, it's almost like a wall of bullets. You just can't get through it. And even if you do break through it, by the time you get up close and personal, you're gonna get chomped. That's just the way it is. And eUnited struggles with that. Not to the point where they get outclassed or outmatched, but it definitely tapers off the slaying power of Powerz or Dyslexic. So that's one good thing RushieZ has. And that's another reason why I like this matchup so much, is because you have two distinct play styles, one more team-oriented, and the other more, I'm just going to, get into your face and try to out-muscle you, and that's definitely eUnited. RushieZ has that potential, but it's a big power balance, and which one wins over the other? Well, honestly, Ribs, it depends on any given series at any given day, which one truly is going to take the cake.
Yeah, I mean, obviously RushieZ winning that matchup even after being down a map in the grand finals of the spring major. So I'm going to have to go with RushieZ because I feel like they're able to do both at any given time. They know when they need to overpower their opponents, and they know when they have the positioning to just out-angle their opponents. eUnited should know that as well. These are players like Powerz that have played with some of the best IGLs in the game. Explosive has played with Kenny. He should know how important it is to angle out the opponent as well. So going into a map like Checkout, I feel like being able to overpower and outslay your opponent is more important. But once again, RushieZ going for the nades. They have so many different strategies and execution that makes them such a tough execution team to beat. Definitely United needs to win this map, and I think they need to win Vasgar as well. Ritual being a strong map for eUnited, they have to get there by winning one of these 2 maps first.
Yeah, Vasgar, when we get to that, which we will, is going to be a tough one, I think, for eUnited. They're great on that map, but RushieZ's teamwork is so hard to beat, or at least makes them very difficult to beat on Vasgar specifically. But checkout, though, you can get a bit more loose and get a bit aggressive, right? So who do you favor on checkout? Because the eUnited slaying power might rise to the top more so than the teamwork of RushieZ.
Yeah, well, the thing is we keep talking about the teamwork with RushieZ, but you have to understand DeTox and them. These are main slayers also. They're just choosing to play as a team. So I'm still going to go with RushieZ because, like I said, I feel like Affinity being on their side helps him on execution so much because he has strategies. Not only has the strategies, but knows when to use them. So sending RushieZ out wide for nades, they like to do it when the plat is on their left when they come out of spawn. So they have strategies depending on what spawn they're on. And they utilize that to their advantage. They also know when to tell when the momentum needs to be switched, and that's when they'll change their strategy as well. So this is a reason why RushieZ is our defending champions. They're a very strong checkout team. You're right, though. Dyslexic, Powerz, 2 of the hardest players to kill in close quarters combat. We're going to see that here in that plat fight.
Well, one thing that does make them scary, or speaking in regards to RushieZ, they did beat Pittsburgh Knights on this map just a little bit earlier.
Map 5.
Yeah, map 5, where it mattered most. You know, Pittsburgh Knights could very well be in grand finals if it wasn't for that the map 5, because I think PK would have went on to beat Rebel. I think Pittsburgh Knights at this point is a better team than Rebel, and they've proven that. But with that being said, though, that shows to me that RushieZ can definitely take that aggression and take different looks, and also counteract the sniper, because the sniper was going to PK quite often and they were still able to battle back. And that's going to be something that I think eUnited could lean into with Powerz getting the snipe. We can see him. Well, obviously, we've seen him pop heads. RushieZ might not be as intimidated by that as maybe some other teams would. But also, let's take into account RushieZ, right? He could be kind of a bit of an X factor, maybe playing for nades. And that is something that you also have to keep your head on a swivel with.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And that's RushieZ is slowly he just impresses me more and more, because back in Gears 4, Taylor, I don't know if you remember, he was kind of just like a brain dead slayer, and that's no offense to him. That's what he did. He would run into bad situations. He would overextend probably when he shouldn't, and he would get away with it because of raw skill. He's completely changed his genetic makeup as a player. Still has the ability to slay out and still has the ability to kind of be a rat on the map, hide, secret man, all that good stuff. But a lot of the times you see him making the smart play now, and that just means a lot. Former teammate of mine, he's changed so much. He's matured over time. That's why he was able to help RushieZ win that last championship on game types like execution, specifically playing a role player's type of role, but doing it like nobody else really does. You don't see anyone play clock tower down low the way he does. You don't see many people play nades on clock or checkout the way he does either.
Yeah, and also too, to just to kind of compliment RushieZ a bit more, he is one of the most accomplished players in Gears 5, right? Outside of Handles, Acels, and Zysho, I think he has the most championships in Gears 5, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he has to, because I mean he won
2 LANs for sure.
Yeah, he won multiple LANs. Yeah, he has 3 because he won 2 LANs, and then like I said, this last spring major was the first online event that RushieZ won.
Right.
And I think he's a great online player, but he was also amazing on LAN. Like he got better when he got to the LAN events, and he kind of let his emotions get the better of him online. But at the LAN events, he was a little bit more composed, and that helped. But yeah, right. We could talk about this RushieZ roster all day. We're currently waiting for INZEM to move into his slot. So who knows what that kid is doing? Lenny, hurry up. The people at home want to watch you guys play. Check out. It's going to be a fun one for sure. On the side of eUnited, they're running out of time. I'm sure they're very, very upset the way they lost after coming through winners finals on the winner side in grand finals.
Right.
It's tough to let a team come out of losers and beat you, having that map up advantage. So eUnited should have a chip in their shoulder with all of these matchups throughout Pro League and EDAYS of Split 4.
Yeah, you had to bring up that losers bracket run, right? I mean, that was good. That was nice to see from RushieZ's
beat
perspective.
Everybody.
I know.
Beat everybody.
I know. And that's what makes it even more poetic that they won. I mean, they didn't do it by beating, other teams that they were expected to beat. Like, no, they beat every team you could possibly beat. And that's how they won the championship, which makes it all that much more impressive. And RushieZ did that, RushieZ is quite simply that team to make it happen. And I think the second team in Gears history to make it through losers to win a grand finals, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact history of it all.
Or at least in Gears 5.
Yeah, in Gears 5, it has not happened much. I think KCP did it one time in the in the mid-split playoffs against RushieZ. They came out of losers and beat RushieZ. That was around 11 on Tomb, I believe. But other than that, in a major format, I think eUnited is the first one to give up a lead in Gears 5 coming out of the winner side.
Wow. Well, not a first you want to own. Not a first you want to say that's me. You know, that's all me, baby. I own that. But definitely a first. I want to go back to one of the points you mentioned earlier, and you said you know this firsthand, and you definitely do, winning your first and last championship you played. You mentioned RushieZ clearly having more confidence because they won the championship. Now they can play a bit more loose. The pressure is off, and that is a very real thing. But what does it also mean for the opponents that have to play against the current champions? How does that run into effect, like in this case for eUnited?
Well, I'd say their mentality doesn't change much. They know RushieZ is a tough team. They know RushieZ is a championship caliber team. Now that they're the defending champions, it just means, hey, like this team is already proven to be the best team in the world. It's almost like less pressure, like, hey, nothing to lose. We're supposed to lose to them. But when you're eUnited, when you're KCP, when you're the Knights, you don't go in with a mentality that's defeated, right? Like, you want to beat RushieZ. You know you're able to beat them. But no, I think it means more for the champions. Because like I said, you have less pressure knowing you won that championship. You know, you're not in a major right now, so you don't have that same pressure to win this match. But at the same time, what's more important is it just proves to you and your teammates that all that practice you put in actually pays off. Because you could practice, you could win scrims all the time, and then you get to the major and you lose. And you're like, what did I even practice for? But RushieZ practiced properly, and that's why we're seeing the form that they're in currently, already coming out pretty strong. 2v2 on the map. Avexys and DeTox going against Dyslexic. TJ gets taken out. Dyslexic, I believe, had the nades. He already used them. He's going to get angled out. It's going to be RushieZ taking the first round here. Already up a map, Taylor. They're looking strong.
That's pretty crazy to see how that unfolded. First and foremost, RushieZ did get the nades off the rip. Dyslexic challenges him, and RushieZ dies. Dyslexic wins the 1v1. But, you know, you got to give credit where credit is due. That platform fight was very bloody. You know, the checkouts fight in general. And that's where my attention is going to go regardless, because that's the big team fight. That's where the bulk of your kills are going to come from, minus the 1v1. But the 1v1 spot and the checkout fight popped off simultaneously, and that's relatively rare. Already first blood. INZEM taking down TJ. DeTox will also fall. Powerz, nice shot onto one in mid. That was Avexys. Another one falling down from plat. That was INZEM. RushieZ now 1v3. Tough spot to be in. They're going to swing it wide. Speaking in regards to eUnited, we'll be tied up 1-1. These first two rounds, I mean, you blink, you missed them. They have been furiously aggressive.
Yeah, and Powerz right there going off, I believe, getting 3 kills back to back to back. Yeah, I love that they're having the 1v1 Dyslexic and RushieZ. Kind of making that 3v3 a little bit more organized instead of just a 4v4 headbutt. RushieZ does usually switch which rounds they send a player to nades, but right now it seems like they're going with a base 3-1 strategy. And it's interesting that eUnited is doing the same thing. We're going to be on board with that 1v1. RushieZ getting plenty of initial damage. Meanwhile, INZEM breaks ice, but he did that last round also. This round, this time also, RushieZ breaks ice and then loses players right after. 1v2 of Avexys full red. eUnited for back-to-back rounds.
Wow, back-to-back rounds, 24 seconds. I mean, I want to say the last round was 22 or 24 seconds as well. Both 20 seconds regardless. Incredible performance from eUnited. They're answering back. Does RushieZ slow things down, or do they continue to go at this pace that eUnited has set?
I don't think they're going to slow things down. Eventually, they'll do a sniper strategy where they go wide and try to get a Avexys sniper. But what's worrisome, Taylor, is the fact that INZEM has gotten the first kill both of these last 2 rounds, and it hasn't really meant anything. And all that means is, like you said, eUnited outslaying RushieZ. Powerz just too hard to contain. Big 1v1 coming out here. Dyslexic is going to back up. Meanwhile, INZEM gets another first blood, but gets traded out right out. No, he got revived. So this time around, RushieZ is going to be able to capitalize on that first blood. Dyslexic is going to kill RushieZ. That's going to help for his confidence, but it isn't going to help his team win the round. DeTox gets the back A. Tied up at 2-2.
There it is. Like you said, tied up 2-2. We got a nice little smiley face on your box score. Man, this is looking good, and honestly, to be expected. One thing that I do like and appreciate is there's no tension, really. It's just kind of, you know, the round starts and the round is over with, and both teams just business as usual. RushieZ 0-4-0, Demise 0-3-2. doing a bit better, though, on the opposite side, right? RushieZ kind of having a difficult time in this 1v1 spot against Dyslexic, who has won it every single time. Imagine if RushieZ starts winning, but look at the team fire off the rip for eUnited, but they run into what seems to be a trap. They're going to get first blooded. RushieZ, a great response.
And that was all DeTox there. I mean, he gets revived, then he gets the chunk and revives INZEM right back. So that's just great awareness, knowing that he can squeeze that shotgun shot out before he gets that revive back onto INZEM. RushieZ winning back-to-back rounds. Finally, RushieZ survives that round. I think that was the first round he survived. I think he ran away that time around. No, he still has four deaths. So he died 4 out of the 5 rounds. But hey, that 1v1, even if he loses it to Dyslexic, as long as he's keeping Dyslexic out of the fight, I think he's confident that his team will win the 3v3 at the platform.
Round number 6, RushieZ leading eUnited 3-2. United once again getting aggressive on the lower side of things. TJ finding anybody. Look at how wide he swings it immediately, throws out the stun, maybe trying to set up player number 8 Dyslexic to challenge onto INZEM, but a down and a finish. Demise, he's gone. RushieZ connects onto the nades. Now it's going to be a 4v3, eUnited on the back foot.
Yeah, and we have to watch Powerz here with the sniper. I mean, if eUnited's going to win this round, it's on the back of Powerz, maybe getting the headshot with sniper. RushieZ has a wide angle, but Powerz is going to take that wide angle on him and force him back. There's a fight on the platform, and it looks like RushieZ is going to be able to get it down onto Dyslexic. 4v2 advantage. Now, completely on the shoulders of Powerz if eUnited's going to win this round.
Body shot, but that's not what he's looking for. He's looking for the head, isn't he? Luckily, he does have his teammate next to him. That's going to be TJ, but RushieZ, they will be rotating over towards electronics, and now it's up to Powerz. And a 1v4, he pushes out. I mean, just the amount of damage, you can see his little paws. He knows it's all but over with. And RushieZ wins 3 rounds in a row to bring it 4-2. And going back to that first blood, right? RushieZ hitting the nade. That was such a decent start, or really a good start in general. And I'm curious if Dyslexic even challenged that time around, or if he didn't. He just went to checkout.
Well, yeah, that was the first time we've seen either team play the sniper rifle strategy, and United did get the snipe into Powerz. We saw how that worked out. No headshots. Meanwhile, Rush gets his first 2 kills, one of them with the frag grenade. So he continues to be such a smart player, especially when he gets those lethal grenades in his hands. This time around, 3-1 for both teams. RushieZ DeTox does pick up the incense, uncontested pretty much. That's going to help RushieZ now get advantages here towards the plat if they want to get the sniper. Clearly, this next incense comes out. Yep. Powerz does a good job dodging it. RushieZ isn't going to be able to grab the sniper. Kind of a misplay with those incense, Taylor.
RushieZ is also looking like he wants to tempt fate push on a Dyslexic. Might have the advantage up there. Who is to say? Nice job, though, from RushieZ to collapse in onto eUnited. One more player they have to get through, and that's TJ down low. And on the top side, look at that. RushieZ wins his fight against Dyslexic. Definitely started off a bit shaky in that 1v spot against him. Dyslexic was, or at least at that time, had RushieZ number, but it seems as if he's improved and figured it out. Before the chainsaw can even have an effect, there is going to be a finish 5-2. 4 in a row for RushieZ. eUnited can't get anything going.
I mean, this map was extremely competitive back and forth. I mean, at one point, United was up 2-1, but RushieZ getting all the momentum these last few rounds. And United trying to change up the strategy here and there. It's not working out for them. And yeah, like you said, RushieZ started off pretty bad, 0-4. Since then, he hasn't died the last 3 rounds and kind of handling his 1v1. And he's going to have another 1v1 this round. 3v3, United does hop up first. Incense are not able to be picked up just yet. TJ does get him, but then he gets taken out. RushieZ wins another 1v1 versus Dys. Looks like this is going to be the end of this map, Taylor.
Wow. That's going to be it, man. That's crazy.
The
way that started to the way that it ended is literally polar opposites. I mean, RushieZ, once they caught fire, they did not back down. And I got to say, they read United like a book. That's just the way it is. You know, you can definitely see you know, what you said is true, Ribs. Like, that confidence from winning the major really seems to be guiding RushieZ tremendously. I mean, DeTox 10-3. Nice to see him dropping numbers like that. DeTox in Split 3, I felt was a more understated player, kind of a Avexys or RushieZ or, you know, obviously INZEM was kind of taking the big highlight plays. DeTox was more of the support player, being a consistent player, not bad by any means, but being great. but it's nice to see him dropping numbers like that. DeTox coming into his own and being that Slayer that he once was. Love that. And RushieZ, they are looking scary. Ribs, they lead 2-0 over eUnited. EU's got to step it up.
Yeah, if I'm a United, don't get down on yourself. Start with this Vasgar. If you could win Vasgar, you go to your best control map in Ritual. But yes, RushieZ, defending champions, looking amazing. And at this point, take it as you may, Taylor. They just have deeper pockets when it comes to these game types. It looks like they have more strategies,
Sure, yeah.
and they have championship winning strategies, as we saw in the spring major. And yeah, they look like they're running on a high right now. Currently 2-0 in Pro League and trying to win this first EDAYS of Split 4. Yes.
Well, Clayton, your boys aren't doing too well. Send them your energy because they are going to need it. Grand finals will continue after the break with RushieZ leading 2-0. eUnited, they've got a long mountain to climb, but I hope they have their hiking boots ready because they're going to have to. When we come back, grand finals will continue. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Emergence Day Split 4, week number 1. Grand finals well underway. 2 maps down, and RushieZ leads 2-0 over eUnited. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Jordan Ribs, Barrow, and Jordan. What's going on, man? Because eUnited, they looked so incredible on Tuesday and Wednesday. They looked even better during round 1 and round 2, specifically semifinals. But here, they're hitting a brick wall and it tries.
Yeah, I feel like that control district was so important for either of these two teams. RushieZ inching that one out kind of bode well for them. And then going into checkout, I mean, eUnited looking very strong. Production, specifically Jordan Softer, wanted us to let everyone know Demise didn't get a single kill on that checkout execution. We didn't talk about it.
0-9?
Dissecting, yeah, we were dissecting the gameplay a little bit more, and we were trying to really break down what RushieZ was doing so well, especially RushieZ with the nades and RushieZ in that 1v1 versus Dyslexic. But Demise not getting a single kill, that's not great. Powerz and Dyslexic, clearly the front runners, the tip of the spear. So a lot of the times Demise wasn't able to really fight because by the time he got into a fight, he was probably in a 1v3 or 1v2. It kind of makes it tough. That being said, RushieZ just playing so very, very well, picking right up where they left off, split number 3.
Yeah, RushieZ looking incredible. They really, I mean, RushieZ having more confidence now, I think, than they've ever had. That championship clearly made a difference, but more importantly, they understand there's no team that they haven't beat, and there's no team that they can't beat. And that's the important mental aspect of it. Any roster that goes against them, they're the ones who have to beat RushieZ, not the other way around. So RushieZ looking really good. Vasgar should be a great map for them. Again, that teamwork is phenomenal, and it has been all night. The way that they're reading eUnited, I think, is the biggest key takeaway, though. That checkout, RushieZ read eUnited so well to the point where eUnited literally tried everything and they couldn't get it going. And I think it's going to be much the same on Vasgar. A little bit more elongated, obviously. It's very difficult to lock in a domination. So we'll probably see, longer rounds as Vasgar typically has. But if the rounds do elongate and they extend, I think RushieZ is going to be in a much better position than that of eUnited, just based off of what I've seen today.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if we see more of that 1v1 matchup between Dyslexic and RushieZ. We see that happen all the time over by the luggage side, especially towards the second half of Vasgar. We have the E-Hill over there. That 1v1 just so interesting because I honestly gave it to Dyslexic on the side of skill and different ability to get kills. But RushieZ just plays a certain play style that's hard to practice for. He takes the risks at the right time and he understands what his opponent wants. Meanwhile, Dyslexic, honestly, I keep saying this and I will continue to say this, probably one of the most skilled players in Gears esports. And it should help him in most matchups, but I don't think it helps him in this specific matchup versus Rush.
Well, it wasn't too bad, though, on checkout when they were opposite of each other. At first. And that's, I was getting at that, right? At first, right? But
Rush adapted. He adapted. That's an important thing to be able to do.
He did. Well, what is that weird? You mentioned that weird play style, and you kind of went in depth a little bit with it. Making the right moves or making the right risk when he needs to, or reading his opponent for what it is. And you mentioned a great point that isn't necessarily discussed often, but you could probably go more in detail with it, about knowing what your opponent wants in that given time. Let's talk more about that.
Yeah, so most Gears players and most just any shooters, you play the situation as it is in the moment, right? Like, oh, do I have an advantage? Do I go for this kill? Is he weak? Did he miss the stun grenade? Meanwhile, Rush, I feel like it's just thinking a few steps ahead. For example, there was a perfect example in that match when it was a 3v2 in favor of RushieZ, and RushieZ had a 2v1 at the plat. So now Rush, you're kind of thinking, is he going to run away from that fight? Is he going to regroup with his teammates? Instead, he catches Dyslexic knowing Dyslexic is trying to make a play, and he pretty much just lancered him down. He said, I know Dyslexic is going to try to get this kill and then go help in the 2v2. So RushieZ is just having a little bit more foresight than his opponent, whereas most people just play in the moment and try to take the advantage that they think they might have. And RushieZ, once again, he might be at a disadvantage and know that his opponent wants to capitalize, and he'll punish that. So, I might be giving him more credit than I should, but at the same time, he's been so successful in the most recent split, winning that championship, and he continues to improve and he continues to play these 1v1 spots very well. And I think he deserves the credit I'm giving him.
Yeah, I think he does as well. I mean, champion after all. I mean, he definitely earned that, which is great to see. It really is. Yeah, eUnited, they've got a lot of work to do, and they've got to step it up. That's just the way it is. I don't know what Clayton and Hunter EU can win. I can't. I don't know what that. I don't know what that. Clayton, if you voted, did he vote for EU? EU can win. I can't. What does that mean? You voted for eUnited to win, which means you would get the channel points if they won. Unless I'm missing something, it's opposite day. Clayton, you're wild. You're wild. But hey, it's all good. I love you out there, man. Matter of fact, I love all you guys. You guys are great. You guys really are. And TR Buster had me dying with this comment about Powerz. I don't know what that meant either. I don't know why he can't think straight. What does that mean, Buster? Please let me. Why can't you think straight? Because your Powerz hitting right tonight or something? Sometimes I read chat, and sometimes I regret it, but sometimes it just makes me laugh, Ribs. Well, let's get into it. Map number 3, RushieZ leading 2-0 over eUnited. Let's see if RushieZ can close it out 3-0.
Oh, yeah, you gotta love chat. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the show, the commentary. Glad Taylor didn't die to a tornado.
I'm telling you, bro. Same.
And to you eUnited fans here, must win, still winnable. United wins one round at a time is what I would tell them if I was their coach. And just try to get through this map and get to Ritual after so strong. On the side of RushieZ, continue to play at this championship caliber, and you might be able to get this 3-0 and win week 1, split 4 EDAYS. Great way to start split 4.
Great way to start split 4 indeed, brother. Well, eUnited off to a decent start. They've got ANC locked in place, and they are winning their fights where they need to, including on the opposite end for RushieZ's own home hill. It's tough to go against consistent respawns of the enemy team and try and maintain the home hill of your enemy, but it seems like eUnited is doing that quite well. But B-Hill is going to be under contention, and INZEM was the guy to challenge from RushieZ. He's going to end up falling. So now RushieZ, well, hopefully they can retake their home hill, which they haven't been able to do for some time.
Yeah, eUnited's been getting multiple kills on that side of the map. Really, RushieZ has yet to really win a team fight here on this this first round. Finally, they get their home hill back. A huge lead here coming out from eUnited, up about 60 points. RushieZ is going to overextend. The respawns will come out from eUnited. I believe they're going to wait for this last respawn and utilize that spawn shield. Player number 3, Demise, should be able to run straight into this fight. Maybe soak up some of the damage. Meanwhile, Dyslexic did win a 1v1 over against INZEM at B. Sorry. He got the down, didn't get the kill. It is going to be INZEM getting revived, now going to try to protect his home hill. eUnited plays this properly. They should be able to win this round just off of points alone. RushieZ is going to have to get a 3-cap if they want to win this one.
You said 3-cap is going to have to happen, and that's typical Vasgar fashion, and it's not uncharacteristic to see a triple cap come in, even though the team has been lagging behind since the very start. But I think eUnited is going to be relatively safe in round 1. This should be theirs to lock in place, and they are effectively going to do that. eUnited controlled from the initial to the middle to the end portion, Ribs. RushieZ could not get ahead of eUnited at any point.
Yeah, and Vasgar is one of our escalation maps that isn't symmetrical. And in that sense, eUnited did have the good side. We'll just leave it at that. So if RushieZ is going to answer back, make sure they win rounds 2 and 4 before the half on their good side. Rival spawn. Good on eUnited, getting first blood, showing that they are still composed. They're down 0-2, but they know they can make this reverse 3 sweep. If they could just win one round at a time, take this Vasgar, stay alive, keep it alive. Currently 2-0 in favor of RushieZ, though. That control was very, very competitive, though.
It was.
Check out not so much. So I'm expecting this Vasgar to be as competitive, if not even more, than that district one.
I hope so, and it's not even to mention Ritual map 4. If it goes there, this series could be far but over with. This is a tough map, though, I think, for both rosters. Again, I favor RushieZ, but that round 1 gave me a lot of confidence for eUnited to perform exceedingly well and potentially send this series to a map number 4. DeTox opposite of TJ. He'll go ahead and back away from that. We have a bit of a standstill, though, between Alpha and Charlie. You notice a 3v3 and a 1v1 happening on the back end of things. Make that a 2v1. Player 8 RushieZ. He's going to make a decision to back away. Meanwhile, on these baby steps, TJ is going to be in a 1v2 himself, trying everything in his power to just hug this corner as much as possible to stay alive. He'll get 1. He might get 2. Hold up a second. Matter of fact, 3 will fall, and that was with the help of Dyslexic. That's 4 gone. That's a round for United.
Yes, this will be a 3-cap, one of the faster rounds that we can see on Vasgar. That's because RushieZ loses what was a 3v2 in their advantage. Because there was a 2v1 going on, and RushieZ actually did get 1 kill. But he's in a 2v1. His teammates need to win their numbers. TJ, the clutch double kill, is going to help United win 2 straight. So even RushieZ on a rival spawn does struggle there. It's that round.
Hey. United looking good. Looking good. Map 3, Ribs, for whatever reason, maybe you know, it's always the turning point. It's always the turning point.
Yeah, I mean, what it is it's Escalation. It's a very unique game type. You can't really compare it to anything. It's a respawn game type, but it's round-based. You're changing the map depending on the weapons. 3 hills is a lot to think about, a lot of communication. So these teams know that Escalation can be that swing map for them. Especially these teams like United RushieZ, they know how much it matters to just win this 3rd map and get to that 4th map. Or for RushieZ, win this 3rd map and close it out. So
right.
I just love it. I love Escalation to death. And even when we only played Escalation, I still thought it was the most competitive game type. I'm glad we have 3 game types now, but Escalation still has a very important role in these series.
You know, I agree with that. I do. Just because of its lineage, you know, how long it's been played, but also more importantly, I think just it's so different from control and execution that it really is a turning point. It could very well be a turning point. The fact that it's only played once, it still is just as impactful as execution and control, but I'm a fan of it. I really am, and I love that the younger teams have, I say younger teams, obviously younger in terms of getting into Pro League, but they've even caught up to the veterans who've been playing Escalation for the longest time. A lot of moving pieces on every single hill, it seems, and so I'm still trying to figure out who's going to have the advantage here. It seems like RushieZ for the time being, but TJ with that kill might be able to rotate the C. So at this point, I don't think any team really has a definitive edge.
Yeah, it was RushieZ until TJ got that kill on B. Now TJ's going to have another 1v1 versus RushieZ. The team fight, though, this is huge. DeTox is going to get taken out. DeTox struggling right now, 1-7. This is KD, and I think he had 5 deaths in the very first round. So DeTox gonna have to try to gain some momentum.
Oh no!
All the players of RushieZ having a singular kill.
That's terrible.
Yeah, RushieZ right now getting beat up on this Vasgar, and eUnited trying to make it a 3-0 lead, which is quite the substantial lead here. Considering they're down 0-2 in maps, you can tell United is really trying to turn up and get to that map 4. They know they can win that map 4. Meanwhile, RushieZ still in it in this round. Gets 2 kills on the map. 1v1 though.
Oh man!
Again, the 1v1's won by TJ. He's just been killing everybody at the B hill, 1 player at a time. That's really helping his team, knowing that they're going to have that neutral hill no matter what.
We mentioned Dyslexic opposite of RushieZ. It hasn't been that way. It's been instead TJ really fighting against RushieZ, and TJ has been dominating that. Curious to see if RushieZ makes a bit of an adjustment. And even with RushieZ looking like they start to gain an edge, eUnited, because of TJ, starts to come back and keeps that competitive edge for themselves. Now, this could be a big turning point, however, for RushieZ. Getting the 2-1 hill advantage for themselves. They are on the chase. They want Powerz dead, and then maybe even work their way over towards A. And I think they feel that way because the win condition might not favor them, depending on, once this hill takes over, how it's going to end up looking. I like this flank, though, from RushieZ. He'll have a chance to get onto A. He will be in a 1v against Dyslexic. RushieZ could win their first round, depending on how this plays out. That's a great kill.
Yeah, but RushieZ does get taken out. Avexys making some plays. Currently, RushieZ will win with 2 hills. Avexys is going to continue to push forward. He knows he has numbers on Dyslexic here. You're right. I think RushieZ might be able to win their first round. 1v1 going down at B. That could help eUnited if they could somehow win that. Player number 2, Powerz, He's going to get taken out, though. DeTox wins that 1v1. You're right, Taylor. RushieZ does stop the bleeding. Thought they were going to go down 3-0. If they could go into the half 2-2, that would be great for them.
Sure.
Getting momentum right back on their side.
Oh, absolutely. If they give it, bring it back 2-2, you know, it's twofold. You stop obviously the momentum from eUnited, but you also get right back in it, and you're 3 rounds away from winning this series, this grand finals, week number 1 of Split 4 EDAYS 3-0. That's a big momentum booster for sure. So this round is going to be impactful and mean quite a bit for the side of RushieZ, and we're mirrored retro to bold talk on both ends, which to be expected with how good these rounds have played out. My question is, did RushieZ off that last round give them enough of a momentum boost to give them the confidence they need, or maybe even the answer they need to read eUnited like they did on the map before on checkout?
This time around, it looks like we are going to have a team fight, maybe break out at the tank. The neutral hill B. It's going to be player number 7 of Avexys, though. He's going to go towards the 1v1. So we do have Dyslexic and RushieZ. Dyslexic is going to get outnumbered. eUnited, knowing that, pushes forward onto the neutral hill. Dyslexic does escape through the middle of the map. No kills coming out yet here in round number 4. Then gets down, gets revived. RushieZ currently having 2 hills in their possession. RushieZ with a Retro Lancer. That's going to be tough for Dyslexic to get out of this situation. That weapon's so very strong. Meanwhile, at the A hill, there is a big team fight breaking out as well. But still, yet for anybody to die on this round, I think Dyslexic will be the first one to drop. Meanwhile, RushieZ just continues to rotate the map. They haven't really given eUnited any type of real fight in this round.
Well, this is going to be the first real fight. 3v3. Demise with the bolt top. Nice shots. It's going to drop one member from RushieZ. Oh, but painted out. INZEM gets a nice clean kill. RushieZ, however, needs to carry the torch, and he will. Now they'll double back. They know off the respawn is going to be Dyslexic. He was the first one finished off. You pointed that out. No member from RushieZ wants to break away and get onto A. Matter of fact, excuse me, take that back. It's going to be player 6. So eUnited could be facing a domination attempt very shortly, and that ups the ante for this fight onto C, maybe even from the perspective of Demise, depending on how this ends up playing out. But it looks like finally some headway has been made for eUnited. They effectively back RushieZ off of their home hill, but the damage has effectively been done, 160 to 102.
Yeah, INZEM baited the hell out of that down player, whipped his camera back, got the chunk, and that was really the play of this round so far. So now RushieZ is going to do what they do so well. Use the point advantage to make sure they only fight favorable fights. Even there, TJ gets a nice kill on the DeTox, but gets traded out. But now players 2 and 3 are in the races. They're pushing through the RushieZ spawn to try to break the home hill of RushieZ. Meanwhile, RushieZ 6 and 8 on the home hill of eUnited. They just keep rotating the map. RushieZ should be able to get to the half, tied up 2-2. It'll be up to eUnited to get a clean slate of kills. Try to overextend. Still winnable, though, for eUnited. They just need to win both of these 2v2s at the same time, and looks like they're going to get it down on INZEM. Oh, multiple kills come out.
Yeah, they've done it.
Everyone's dead.
They've done it.
eUnited wins 3-1, and RushieZ really gave themselves no position to run, cornered themselves, and that was not very like them. I mean, they need to rotate either through the middle of the map or choose a side of the map and push with numbers instead. RushieZ loses that round. Now eUnited up 3-1 going into the half. Very favorable.
It's a big lead for eUnited. Like you said, very favorable, but so typical of eUnited to win that round in the fashion that they did. They do it so often, and I think it's just blind faith and just confidence, just overflowing confidence that eUnited has that says, okay, we're about to lose this round, but don't worry about it. We got this. We just have to win 2 distinct 2v2s. We could do it. And they do. And they do that so often. And again, it's that confidence that just is so hard to extinguish. And once they exude that confidence, man, it's just almost lights out for any Ross that plays against them. RushieZ, they tried to go for the 2v2 setup, but that's the risk you take sometimes. And that is the risk, really. When those 2v2 breaks out, at any point on Vasgar, even at the beginning, at the end stage, in the middle portion, at any point, those 2v2s, it always makes me nervous watching those ribs because I know if you lose both of them, you lose the round. That's how serious it can get.
And for the side of eUnited, that's exactly what they needed. So they were happy for that. RushieZ up almost 100 points. They need to try to avoid that situation. So on to the second half, the hills will rotate around. It's going to be the E hill in favor of eUnited. RushieZ overextending earlier. Player number 8 now. try to hold off this push to the spawn. The Avexys and RushieZ at the home hill in a 2v3. RushieZ on the flank was Secret Man and gets called out by Powerz. United looking good again here coming into the second half, even though they lost their home hill. They're gonna have the point advantage. They're gonna have the home hill of RushieZ decap. Dyslexic putting that marks at a use, just lasering DeTox down.
Player 6 by himself, and not for long, he'll be able to join the company of his teammates in the respawn. Dyslexic with the M-bar still has it out. I don't know about that, but he definitely wanted to hit some highlight plays with the marks. Unfortunately, RushieZ just wasn't having it, and now he's got the marks in hand. Push up onto Demise. A couple of shots to at least keep him at bay, but a bit of a challenge. Demise reads him like a book, takes him down. United well on their way to controlling this round. They already are in control, but the way that they're pressuring up, RushieZ needs to be careful. Losing, oh, here we go. I mean, I'm telling you, they lose this, it's over.
Yeah, this has been all United here in this first round of the half, and RushieZ will break away towards E. Player number 4, Dyslexic, will weaken there. But this point disparity right now is heavily in United's favor. They win this round, they're going to go to map point. This is exactly what United needed to get back into this series. Not only winning Vasgar, but winning convincingly RushieZ. Not really looking like the Vasgar team that we saw them be in the spring major. They're kind of struggling. Maybe let their foot off the gas pedal, but United definitely capitalizing here.
She's going to pick up the fresh M-bar. We're going to have to see kind of what United did a couple of rounds ago. Maybe break up for two distinct 2v2s. Unfortunately, time is not on RushieZ's side. RushieZ has to get desperate, make a push. That's a good kill. Can't get the finish. All right, there it is. Fine. He'll break away towards E. There's already going to be a player from the United down there. Not only in seconds remaining, TJ will win his 1v1. That's going to be it. Ribs. RushieZ will lose another round and put eUnited up 4-1. In fact, how many rounds is that in a row? That's 2. So not too bad, but if you look at the box score, it is pretty bad because RushieZ has only won 1 round. Can't get anything going, and I think it is what you said. I think RushieZ has kind of let off the gas, maybe taking map 3 for granted.
Potentially, but if I were them, I would not want to do that, knowing that United is so very good at Ritual. Not to mention RushieZ is also very strong at that map, but we'll see. If they do choose to kind of turn up here, we could see a potential comeback, but it starts with this round here, round number 6. I don't think we're going to see a major weapon placed down, but now would be the time to do it if you were RushieZ. Maybe put a weapon down at tank. Marksa is already down at E, so that kind of sets itself up as like a pseudo block for a major weapon to be placed at E. And yeah, RushieZ is just going to continue to level up their utility weapons. United map point, trying to force a map number 4. I mean, this could be a very interesting series. If United wins this map, wins Ritual, we're going to a map number 5 to see who's our champion of the night.
Yeah, Ritual is United's stomping ground, so this could get very concerning for RushieZ fans out there and for RushieZ in general. And with Tomb being map 5, that's also caused a pause. RushieZ is great on that map, but I mean, so is the United. So these next coming maps are going to be incredible to watch, and I'm sure we are going to be able to with the way that United's playing. I like the aggression, though, from RushieZ. This is the first time they've really, put their feet down and said, okay, we're going to take this initial nice and strong, and they do exactly that, and they definitively win the initial and take the 2-1 hill advantage in their favor. So good on RushieZ. Let's see if they can hold on to it.
Oh, the Marksa in the hands of Powerz almost gets a headshot on Avexys. I think it was one more bullet to the head, and that would have been just a straight headshot. Putting some good support fire onto DeTox, gets the down. United should be able to regain possession of their home hill. RushieZ, though, on the neutral hill. Player number 5 almost getting a 3-cap while he was down. That would have been funny to see a Mr. Krabs from a downed player, but United's getting the kills around the map.
Yep.
And eventually they'll go back for the E hill, but right now United's pretty happy with just 2 home hills.
Happy indeed, and honestly, that's kind of been the reoccurring theme. eUnited gets 2 hills, and they kind of just rest on their laurels while RushieZ is scrambling to make anything happen. So eUnited's done a great job controlling RushieZ this entirety of Vasgar, and even in this case, RushieZ desperately trying to push out towards tank. Player 8 will break away to 1v1, maybe Dyslexic. We'll see how far RushieZ is going to be able to go. Meanwhile, RushieZ mounting up a decent push up onto D, and that'll be led by Avexys, who's going to be the tip of the spear straight into one, but immediately backs away, not happy with his positioning in that moment, chooses to maintain his life, and I think it's because RushieZ makes headway on the opposite end of the map, so there's no reason to overcommit onto the D hill.
Oh yeah, you're 100% right. He hears the comms right there. DeTox saying, hey, we got the E hill, we got to kill, stay alive. They know they can win with 2 hills. Mark's in the hand of DeTox also to help him hold that. Meanwhile, the tank fight will ensue here, and eUnited gets the first kill. This is looking good for eUnited. All they really need to do is decap the home hill of RushieZ, and they'll get back to winning the win condition. That's exactly what they're going to do. DeTox from across the map will try to support INZEM, but not going to work out. Not to mention, Dyslexic does has the incense as well, so that's going to make it much harder for RushieZ. So I think eUnited might be able to close this map out here in a 5-1 fashion. They seem to have all the advantages they need to force this map number 4, and just an expertly played Vasgar coming out from eUnited here with their backs against the wall.
Definitely so. I gotta say I'm blown away. And, you know, I expected this to be more of a battle for sure, but eUnited has been right there. RushieZ, though, does take the win condition back just in the nick of time. eUnited is forced to get a decap. They're not going to be able to do so because DeTox will win the 1v1. He'll crawl to D, won't get the decap, but I mean, not enough manpower on the map for eUnited. And, well, RushieZ, despite all odds,
wow.
Yeah, this is going to another round. I'm blown away.
Yeah, I think eUnited might have thought they won the round off of points, and they might have got a little reckless on that home hill fight. I was counting RushieZ out of it. I didn't know, but it literally came down to 1 second. Wow, and that might come back to bite eUnited in the butt. We'll see. RushieZ still needs to win 3 straight rounds, but I think that was a little bit of a mental glitch coming out from eUnited. All they really needed to do was contest the home hill of RushieZ for a second longer. They would have won this map.
Might have been the out RushieZ was looking for, and maybe exactly what they've needed. They haven't changed the map. They continue to go tit for tat with the team of the United. You know, they don't want to change things up, which seems to be okay. At least, I mean, at least off of that last round, it was so close. But RushieZ, one consistent thing that they've had in the past couple of rounds are their initials, and they're looking to potentially have yet another strong start in the moment. It is going to be a mismatch on E, however. It's a 3v2. Now make that a 3v1. That ups the ante for INZEM to perform as he transitions to F, which it's a clear path. He's going to be able to do so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, United does win that 3v2 at E. Good on INZEM too, getting that first blood onto TJ, just kind of sliding right into the cover of TJ, getting that back A. That's going to be RushieZ trying to hold off this push from United. It's tough to get on your home hill. We talked about it earlier today. There's really not much cover there. So if player number 7 get that wide angle, right now he's waiting for that shock to dissipate. He can maybe angle out these players, but watch out. Player number 2 is going to break through the middle of the map. He's going to get a flank onto DeTox, and he uses the marks of Powerz. Back-to-back marks a headshot kills. Shout out to Jordan Softer. Great timing to switch to Powerz camera there and see that double headshot. Marks a weapon we don't often get to see. Still a very deadly weapon nonetheless.
Powerz backing away. He knows the cavalry from RushieZ, well, they're incoming, and the 2-1 should go to their favor depending. But again, RushieZ is by himself in a 1vx situation. It's where every time I'm looking at his perspective, Ribs, he's, you know, for the most part in 1v1s, but as of recently been in 1v2s and 1v3s, he's getting isolated, he's getting bullied. And I don't care how good you are, you could be Powerz himself, but consistently winning 1v2s, 1v3s just is not a realistic approach. Nice hold, though, from Demise's perspective, and he will fall, so Avexys might be able to work his way up. Meanwhile, RushieZ 1v1 against Dyslexic. This is going to be a big hold, and he gets it. So RushieZ will have the 2-1 hill in their favor. Maybe not just yet. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, DeTox didn't want to get downed trying to get that cap, but he knows just keeping the hill neutralized is good enough. He knows INZEM is on the neutral hill. This is looking good for RushieZ here. They actually want the 3 cap. Do they get it? United's pushing, but they're taking their time. And
whoa!
Just like that, Taylor, RushieZ just RushieZ gets that 3 cap right in the face of United.
Wow. Okay.
A little bit of a hesitation there. I wonder if there was some type of utility grenade that caused them to slow down, but United needs to get a touch on that hill. It's absolutely imperative they get a touch on that hill.
Yeah. Wow, this is not going how I expected it from start to finish, right? eUnited dominating 4-1, and now RushieZ quickly, swiftly coming back. This is truly impressive. First disable comes out from RushieZ's perspective. They'll disable out the INZEM. Meanwhile, eUnited will get their shock up. Obviously, they want to be neck and neck as much as possible going into the final round if we get to that point, but they were the ones who placed the Marksa, as you said, kind of as a pseudo block, so a Torpo or a sniper can't go up top. But here we are, RushieZ. They have sent this round, or sent this map the distance. Can they go a little bit further?
And look at the breakout here, Taylor. 2v2 on both sides of the map. Powerz grabs the Marksa, gets away with it, but he leaves Dyslexic to die to the INZEM, so that's going to give early advantage in favor of RushieZ to the 2 hills. Now, that Marksa being in the hands of Powerz, it's not as scary as him having a sniper or a Torpo, but he is just so talented with any weapon he picks up. We've already seen him get multiple headshot kills. INZEM just gets beamed. I don't know if you saw that, Taylor. Those first 2 shots were headshots. That's why INZEM got down so fast. But I'm sure INZEM would rather that get down than getting headshotted. Meanwhile, RushieZ wins a 1v1 against Dyslexic, and he's going for the Mr.
Domination
play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is.
RushieZ is going to try to take this game into his own hands. And he looks like he's doing it. Player number 1 is the only one that can really get the touch. It's up to TJ. And he doesn't get it.
What? Again? Again, he doesn't get a touch? Wow. Wow. We're going to a round 9. Ribs, I mean, I did not see this happening by any shape of the imagination. By the way, shout out to DeTox. Did you notice him in mid getting that cross for the final player who was locking in arrivals? Or not arrivals, excuse me, locking in tickets?
He came to, it was a great rotation, but it was still RushieZ that made the play, winning a 1v1 against Dyslexic, getting another kill on the home hill, and kind of just scaring TJ away. He just said, stay away, stay away. And TJ doesn't get the touch. We're on series point, match point, championship point here.
Wow.
If RushieZ could somehow win this round, we were counting them out. I thought that was over. I thought it was a 5-1.
Yeah.
They ended up winning that one round 250 to 249, and here we are in round number 9. eUnited needs to step it up here, or they're going to be going home second place here. The EDAYS.
Telling you. Not a bad. Hey, look, second place is fine for most.
No,
not for EU. Not for EU, right? They only went first. They only went first, so it's not going to be. It's not going to be a good finish for them. TJ needs to get away with the sniper. Nice body. Does that slow down RushieZ? Just a hair. Just a hair. Actually, just enough. Just enough needed.
Successful initial there from TJ. Powerz did an amazing job of protecting TJ after he grabbed that sniper. But wait, Demise gets taken out. But yeah, RushieZ is just going to get completely angled out. Okay, so eUnited has all the advantages they need. They have sniper in the hands of TJ. RushieZ is going to get onto the E hill. But RushieZ definitely needs to step it up. This is going to be a tough 2 hills to hold considering sniper's in play. And Powerz is actually going to pick up that sniper. I'm not surprised to see that all, Taylor.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, 3 shots remaining. That could be 3 headshots, knowing how good Powerz is with that power weapon in general. RushieZ trying to hold it down for his roster on the E, but not going to be successful there. I do appreciate, however, RushieZ and their ability to go from hill to hill. Despite them getting 3 players being eliminated, RushieZ made the good play, obviously, to hop onto E, but more importantly, RushieZ continues to have that point lead, despite eUnited, in a way, outslaying RushieZ through really from the initial to now.
Yeah, RushieZ playing the rotations properly, even though, like you said, they didn't have the advantages. But now it's where eUnited should be able to win this fight and get the 2 hills in their advantage. Powerz, I still haven't seen him do much with the sniper, but I'm sure he's hitting body shots here and there. And once again, players playing the rotations. RushieZ gets on the neutral hill. This is what we're used to seeing on Vasgar. It really is a game of rotations, a game of navigating the map, knowing where you need to go off of spawn. And RushieZ doing that perfectly is the only reason that they're still in this round.
Still, though, it's too close to call. It's on a knife's edge, and eUnited will regain the 2-1 in their favor, forcing RushieZ to make a potential 3-man push onto F. New sniper is up, and you see eUnited. They are ready to pounce on the opportunity to get their hands on it. And Powerz still has that sniper, the original sniper from before, with 1 more round loaded in the chamber. That's 3 down. Powerz is last alive. DeTox will get the sniper. RushieZ has a chance to hold on tight until the end.
Yeah, INZEM just went huge over at the tank fight. Powerz is going to catch Avexys slipping, though. Avexys hit him with a full spread. It wasn't enough. Now 2 fights taking place right now. 1v1 RushieZ between Powerz. Powerz is probably going to go for this kill. He kind of knows that he needs it.
It's huge. I mean, this 1v1 is so massive for the really the entirety of this round. Mind you, the 2v2 on D is also going to be underway, but I mean, RushieZ has to, oh no, Dyslexic is also going to be joining in. RushieZ is in trouble. The 2v2 though was won onto D. eUnited, they're only going to have one hill. Rise, they're going to win in just 23 seconds. eUnited has to win the F hill now.
And I think eUnited's eventually going to have to break the home hill of Rise too. And I think that's why we see Dyslexic uncontested going to get the break.
Wow.
This is bad for Rise because eUnited has the E hill in their possession. Player number 8 off spawn though is going to get it. So this home hill fight should decide the match.
But E is also going to be touched.
Spawn, RushieZ making the smart play off of spawn, gets the touch. I think that's going to solidify a complete meltdown on the side of eUnited. We were talking about Ritual. We were talking about Ritual as if this map was over, and Rise showing you why they are the champions of the Spring Major. Win the first EDAYS, win their first 2 matches in Pro League, 4 straight rounds. Rise continue their dominance of Gears Esports.
And to add salt to the wound, MVP is Dyslexic. You know, well played. Or the L. I mean, that always is funny, but hurts. I know it hurts, man. When you make that great effort and then you lose. Rise, EDAY champions for Split 1, or excuse me, for Split 4, week number 1. The final split of EDAYS, and Rise starts it off in a fantastic fashion. I mean, coming back so many times, not to mention down 2-0 against Pittsburgh Knights in round 1, and they win in map 5, round 11. And then also, as well, you had the 3-0 against Rebel, which was great. You know, that was a rematch, but that was an absolute beatdown. And then here to play on District, to be behind and still win, to then move down to checkout and win that 6-2, no contestation, but then to win in the fashion that they did, Ribs, map 3, down 4-1, to come back and win 4 in a row. I mean, it's unfathomable. It's insane. Rise and their composure, it goes hand in hand. There's no other team that has more composure than this roster right before you.
Yeah, it's another level of composure. Think about it, Taylor. They went down 0-2 in the first round of EDAYS, and they won 9 straight maps. 9 straight maps. 3 against PK, 3 against Rebel, now 3 against United.
That is true.
And composure is the perfect word to use for it because they were down in multiple of these maps. Not to mention they were down in that series. Round 11 against eUnited. Composure in round 11 as you were fighting a tornado in real life. And Rise just showing that they have the ability to turn the switch and say, we're not going to lose. And we've seen that from different Gears rosters over history. We've seen it most recently from KCP over these last few majors. Rise trying to close out Gears Esports in this final split on top. And a great way to start this split 4. Like I said, 3-0 on the week. Their matches are 5-0 if you think about all these different matches they played, 2 in Pro League and 3 in these.
5-0. Wow.
Rise coming out strong, and they beat pretty much everybody so far. I don't think they played against KCP just yet, but they played against eUnited and they played against the Knights, and those are their 2 competition other than KCP. They come out on top in both of those matchups. Rise looking so very strong.
Looking unreal, like looking unreal. Here's the bracket. You mentioned it, and that is a hell of a stat line to then win 9 in a row. Yeah, 3-6-9 because they were down 2-0 against PK. Right. They won 9 straight maps in a row. That is crazy. But also on the flip end, to give other teams credit, Fury 1 to send it to a map 5 against eUnited is truly impressive. I believe in that Toady-led roster. I think Fury 1's going to have a great split and potentially even a wonderful summer major performance. Team Queso, though, also putting up a great performance against eUnited, but also Queso beating Northern Forces. That was a big victory that you were giving a bit of praise to.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that first round, those quarterfinals matchups, all were just so very close. I mean, we had 3 map 5s and then we had a map 4. So yeah, sure. I mean, all these teams still have a lot of learning to do. There's a lot of new rosters coming into this split 4, and all of these players know this is their final chance if they've yet to win a championship. But on the side of Rise, it's great to see them not let their foot off the pedal, to continue where they left off in the spring major, winning every matchup, even when their back is against the wall. Those guys, they weren't always the most composed players, Taylor.
No.
Like you said, there's multiple emotional players on that team. And I've been on the side of that team, just really just losing their cool. And it's great to see how they're able to now grow into their own and clutch up when they need to. And it doesn't look like they're going to let up. It looks like they're going to go for back-to-back wins here. We'll see next week in Pro League who they match up against. But RushieZ right now, definitely the team to beat.
Yeah, without question. RushieZ, they're on top. They look like the best. Well, they are the best team. Like, that's just the way it is. You know, Pro League standings are one thing, but, you know, they're 2-0. Then they also played, and I think they're tied with Pittsburgh Knights, or Pittsburgh Knights might just be, I think they're above them because of the map win percentage and standings for Pro League. But, I mean, they beat Pittsburgh Knights here. Granted, by 1 round, so it was still incredibly close. One singular round, but you could make the argument that RushieZ is the best team currently in Split 4. Well done from them. So impressed. I honestly, and I can't say this enough and stress this enough, as a whole for all the rosters that competed today, it was a good showing. It really was. And I love that because I am getting exactly what I wanted, and so are the fans. And that's the best of the best coming out from each and every roster and player because they understand that their time is coming to an end, at least for Gears 5. Ribs, it was an incredible day. I think the cast was top-notch, brother. I always love working with you. What are your final words before we get out of here?
Yeah, of course. It was an honor and a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Obviously, production, the players, everybody who put on the show. It was fun to just be a part of the show. And yeah, I mean, you know, I love the cast. I'm on the analyst desk. I'm observing all that good stuff. But when it's Gears Esports, I do it with a smile on my face. It's always a lot of fun. And yeah, like you said, the players put on such a great show from the beginning to the end. Amazing showing from RushieZ. I love watching those guys play at this level. And I'll continue to hype them up until somebody takes them off that pedestal.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard to take them down, but you know what? There's going to be a lot of teams fighting and battling to take them down. You better believe they need to, have eyes in the back of their head because, hey, their number one spot, it's going to be up for contention. I am sure of it at some point. But Ribs, it's always a pleasure working with you. It was a great day, and for you guys in chat, thank you for just giving us laughs and ultimately supporting Gears through and through. But for myself, Taylor Reflections, Noble, Jordan, Ribs, Ribeiro, our production team, and you in chat, thank you once again for being here. Be back on the Xbox channel on Twitch or live.gearsaward.com to watch it another day, day number 3 of Gears Pro League 5 Eastern. We would love to have you.